red blood cell. So they have a dimple on either side and they're rounded at the edges, packed with hemoglobin. So hemoglobin has a massive affinity for carbon dioxide when it's picking it up from all over the body and then releasing it because it wants oxygen. And the oxygen is waiting in the lungs in these little alveoli, and it absorbs the oxygen and carries on chugging round through the capillary bed and back to the pulmonary vein that's coming back to the heart. We've now got fully oxygenated blood arriving back at the top of the left-hand side of the heart. The next beat, that's squirted down into the ventricle. The left ventricle is much more powerful than the right because it's got to take this blood everywhere, all over the body. That contracts, oxygenated blood goes to all the tissues. If you can have more red blood cells, you can carry, in theory, more oxygen. In the blood at rest, we've got about 50% of the blood cells available, going round and round and round. And here, we have, about there, a very large organ that's a bit like a sponge in a plastic bag, called the spleen. And that will hold 50 to 60% of the red blood cells. And when they are galloping, it contracts and squeezes this very almost tarry blood into the bloodstream, making the whole of the blood slightly more viscous. That's where the racehorse has an advantage over most species. The heart and the blood vessel can cope with this increased density of the blood being pumped around. The horse carries about 10 gallons of blood, a bit more than we do. It's another adaptation in the racehorse that makes this the supreme athlete.